P3-36 is looks complicated, but if we break this into its component features, it's not really that bad. We can identify that there is symmetry about the front plane. So if I sketch in the right plane and extrude it back, we can utilize that mirror sketch to generate most of our geometry. The through hole and the through hole we can assume we can cut extrude um, all the way through the part. The triangle is the one that becomes a little bit of an issue because the geometry does not go all the way through the part, so it either stops at this back face or it has a blind in condition. So whichever one you want to try and experiment is going to be fine. The issue on the manufacturing is I can generate all of this geometry, but the triangle would need to go all the way through to be a broached item or a wire EDM to cut through if we wanted that shape. Otherwise, as a blind hole, then we would have to do like a sinker EDM, cut an electrode that has that shape and burn it into the face of the part. The other issue is with this kickback 30 degrees, these geometries, we're just going to assume that they're on the face and that they'll probably be a little bit skewed, but within our tolerance zone for what we're designing of a widget, that this shape, the little cosine error will not be overwhelming for our geometry. If we needed it and we had to cut that shape, there would be a slightly different, but let's make this easier, not harder. Okay, new, same as coming over to the new, and we'll open up the sketch on the right plane. You should be getting a real good feel for symmetry and picking the center line. This one we want vertical, infinite length. Place it on the origin. It's easier to escape than it is to try to back out the line command. So L on the keyboard. We'll start at the origin, and I do want to take advantage of the continuous arc here. So if I draw the line, go back to the starting point, then I can bring my arc up and around. So up, over, over, up, over, right click, select, window pick from right to left, mirror entities. Looks pretty close. Smart dimension, we're going to go with across the front to the centers, so pretty much that line is 60. The height is 25, so we're either going to go with the 12.5 or the 20.25, so 12.5 will work. We have 6 millimeters across that flat, 24. So somewhere, I guess the 24 reference, we're given a 12 there. Let's see what we have for heights. Have the 25 there, the 15, 10 millimeters on the step. And that's kind of the problem with the dimensions overlaying the part. Sometimes they're hard to see in 35. So the reason that the 24 then is a reference, in this case it's going to cause us to be overdefined because the combinations of 12, 6, 60, that should be a resulting number, not a driving number. So let's go, playing with the views again, let's just go with the extrude. We have an overall of 90, and we'll go ahead and accept. All right, so the origin ended up over here. If I want to reverse that, I can switch the direction, but I pretty much have to make that decision now. It messes with the other sketches if we wait too long on that one. So front plane sketch, I'm going to go with the open contour, but with the open contour, make sure that you connect enough geometry that it is continuous. So if I set my pencil down, go up over, I will be able to cut all the way through. If I eliminate that line, then I pretty much have to draw the other two lines and the other two lines to close off the region. So our dimension is 15. Nope, that's from the step. So from the step up is 15. Let's go back to Control 8 to get in looking at our geometry. We have 32 and then 30 degrees. And as I go through the angles, it's going to show me the other solutions. So we can just keep moving until we figure out which one we want. Extrude cut through all and through all. And I forgot to look at the little arrow. So if we edit that again, the arrow is pointing this way, which was the desired result. If I flip or I hit the arrow, then that's going to determine which side the cut gets made on. All right, so I did not put the geometry on the end face. So let's go to the right plane again. And we'll sketch it in. Maybe you'll throw that one in there as a direction of cut. All right, so we have 20. And let's go ahead and put the 25 on before through. And I'm not sure if that's going to move, so probably safer in this case to not align it to the edge. The center point and the origin can be vertical. And then if we go with the triangle, then I'm going to right click, select the midpoint, control select the vertex, control select the origin, and make those vertical. All right, and then our width is 12, and the height is 15, and the bottom is 45. Okay, so if we cut extrude, and I tell it to go through all, I can see the preview and I have to decide, well, is that what I really want? So in this case, everything's closed and I don't have to use the selected contours, but if I want to use the same sketch, but have different in conditions, then I'm going to have to create two features using the same sketch. So let's just say the whole can go through all, and the expanding out, selecting the sketch, doing an extrude, we go back into the contours. I usually clear out the sketch 3, and then let's just tell it to terminate up to surface, and we'll pick that surface. And it doesn't quite go all the way through. The other item we might do is up to vertex. All right, so up to vertex and up to surface in this case, produce the same thing. If we wanted to offset a millimeter from that surface or generate whatever, we could run through that. Up to next, well, it's going to find the in geometry. So let's just stay up to surface, pick the face, and go ahead and hit OK. So that's kind of weird geometry, but we'll go with it. All right, so from that surface to the vertex, and we go find our measure tool. So over to evaluate, measure, and we'll extend that out. Well, it's still at the 15 millimeters. So in that case, the geometry did not get skewed. There would have to be, if we drew it on this face and drew it 15 millimeters, then in relation to that surface, then we should be a little less on the overall height. All right, so just thinking through my what ifs. We'll go ahead and just draw the circle. Center point to the origin is horizontal. Our distance and depth goes 12, and then we have 12 from the end, and a diameter of 12. And we'll extrude cut through all and accept. So the last geometry is the fillets and rounds, or 3. So if I select those two edges, up, slipped, we'll go into the fillet, and we're going to put 3 millimeters on it. If you don't see a preview, make sure partial preview. Most of the time you don't need a full preview, and if it's a lot of surfaces, you probably don't want those anyway. And oh yeah, it looks like there is one across the top. How about that? So let's go ahead and pick those 3 items and finish our geometry. Okay, so the order of the fillet also plays a mix. One of the reasons I put the fillets in last is this shape would maybe get a little more complex if this fillet was trying to even partially right up that face. So, all right, we'll go ahead and save this. I think I got everything. Nope, looks like there's one more fillet on the back. So edit the feature, make sure that I'm selected, and we'll go ahead and save it. All right, now I think I got all the features. So we'll do the P3-36 and save.